Hello and welcome to another part of this chapter graph theory. In this part we shall discuss about weighted graph. So let us define weighted graph. This is the definition of an weighted graph. A graph G is called an weighted graph if every edge is associated with a specific weight. So in simple language, if we put an weight for each edge of a graph, then the graph is called weighted graph. Now so far we have considered only the graph where no weight has been put in the edges, but now we shall consider the graphs where some weights will be given for the edges. Now as for example, if we consider this graph, then we find that this graph has 5 vertices and 5 edges, and for every edge we have put an weight. As for example, the edge AV has weight 10, the edge AE has weight 5, etc. So this type of graph is called weighted graph. If no weight is given for an edge of a graph, then we assume that the weight of that edge is 1. So this type of graph is called weighted graph. Now in weighted graph, we shall find the shortest distance between any two vertices. As for example, if we want to find the shortest distance between two vertices, suppose A and C, then if we look carefully, we shall find that there are two paths from A to C. The first path is from A to B to C, and the second path is from A to B to D, and then from D to C. So out of these two paths, we need to find the path which has the minimum length. That means the sum of the weights of the edges on that path is minimum. Now if the graph is simple and contains less number of vertices, then we can easily find the shortest distance or the shortest path between any two vertices. But if the graph becomes complicated, then this is not easy to find. Then we shall find a method by which we can find the shortest path and corresponding shortest distance between any two vertices of a simple graph. And the method by which we shall find this is called Dijkstra's algorithm. Dijkstra's algorithm is used to find the shortest path and corresponding shortest distance between any two vertices of a simple graph. Now let us consider one example. We consider this example: find the shortest path and shortest distance between the vertices V1 and V4, where this is the given graph. So you have to find the shortest distance or the shortest path between the vertices V1 and V4. We find that there are several paths from V1 to V4, out of which we shall find the path which is the minimum in length, and we shall use the Dijkstra's algorithm to find the shortest path. Now from this graph we find that the graph contains self loop and also parallel edges. So first of all we have to remove the self loop and parallel edges. For that we shall remove this self loop, and out of these two parallel edges we shall keep the edge which has the minimum weight. So out of these two edges, this edge has the minimum weight, which is 28. So we shall keep this edge and we shall discard this edge. So let us draw the graph again. So this is the corresponding simple graph. We have removed the self loop and one parallel edge which has the maximum weight. Now we have to find the shortest path and shortest distance between V1 and V4, and we shall use the Dijkstra's algorithm. So in the next step we shall find the shortest path and shortest distance between V1 and V4 by Dijkstra's algorithm, and we shall use one table. This is the required table of Dijkstra's algorithm. Now here we have considered the vertices V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6, and these are some steps we shall use in this table. Now in this algorithm, in each step, some temporary levels and permanent levels will be given to the vertices. Now temporary level is that level which can be changed in subsequent steps, but the permanent levels will not be changed, and we shall write the permanent level within a box so that we can identify the permanent level and the temporary levels. In the first step, we shall identify the starting vertex. Now it is given in the question that we have to find the shortest distance between the vertices v1 and v4. We can start with v1 or we can start with v4. Now suppose we are starting with v1. So here v1 is the starting vertex. Then by the algorithm in step 1, we shall give the permanent level 0 to this vertex v1, and all the remaining vertices will be given the temporary level which is infinity. So here we are giving the temporary levels to the vertices. So remember, in the first step, the starting vertex or the initial vertex will be given the permanent level 0, and all the remaining vertices will be given temporary level infinity. Now this is permanent level, so this cannot be changed in the subsequent steps, but these levels can be changed. Now in each step, the vertex which will be given the permanent level, we shall put a tick in that level. Since in the first step we have labeled the vertex v1 permanently by 0, so we have put a tick here. Now we start the step number 2. Now this level is permanent, so there is no need to change this level, so we put 0 here. Now we shall find the vertices which are not directly connected to v1 by edges. From the graph we find that except for v2 and v6, no other vertices are directly connected to v1 by edges. These are connected to v1 either via v2 or v6. So v3, v4 and v5, these three vertices are not directly connected to v1. Therefore in step 2 we shall not change the temporary levels for these three vertices. These three vertices are v3, v4 and v5. Since these three vertices are not directly connected to v1, therefore for v3, v4 and v5 we shall keep the temporary level unchanged. So here we put infinity, here we put infinity, again here we put infinity. Now for the remaining two vertices v2 and v6, now the rule is that in that case we have to find the minimum value of the previous level, actually previous temporary level, which is infinity, and the next value is the permanent level of the previous step. Now in the previous step we have labeled the vertex v1 permanently by 0, so the permanent level of the previous step, that is 0 plus the distance between v1 and v2. Now from the graph we find that the distance between v1 and v2 is 18, so this is 0 plus 18, and we have to find the minimum of these two values, infinity and 18. So obviously 18 is the minimum. So this is the temporary level of this vertex v2. Next we find the temporary level of this vertex v6. Now the rule is same. We have to find the minimum value of the previous temporary level, that is infinity, and we shall put the permanent level of the previous step, that is 0, plus we shall find the distance between v1 and v6. Now from the graph we find that the distance between v1 and v6 is 15, so we shall put 15 here. Now out of which 15 is the minimum, so here we write 15. Now we shall find the minimum value among the temporary levels of this step. Now easily we find that 15 is the minimum temporary level in step 2. So by Dijkstra's algorithm, we shall give this 15 as permanent level to the vertex V6. So in step 2, we level the vertex V6 permanently by 15. So we write a tick here. So the step 2 has been completed. Now step 3. Now since these two labels are permanent, so we put 0 and 15 here because these two labels are permanent, and V6 is the latest vertex which is labeled permanently by 15. Now step 3. Now in this step, since this is the latest vertex V6 which is permanently labeled as 15, so we shall find the vertices which are not directly connected to V6. Now from the graph we find that the vertices V2, V3 and V5 are directly connected to V6 via edges, but the vertex V4 is not directly connected to V6. So by the rule, we shall keep the temporal level of V4 unchanged. Now for the remaining 3 vertices, we shall find the temporal levels. Now starting with V2, we know that the rule is we have to find the minimum value of the previous level, that is 18, comma the permanent level of the previous step. Now in the previous step we have labeled V6 permanently by 15. So this 15, this is the permanent level of the previous step, plus the distance between V6 and V2. Now from the graph we find that the distance between V6 and V2 is 6. So this is 6. Therefore we have 18 and 21, out of which we have to find the minimum, which is obviously 18. Next, V3. The rule is we have to find the previous level, that is infinitive, and the permanent level of the previous step, that is 15, plus the distance between V3 and V6. Now from the graph we find that the distance between V3 and V6 is 14. So this is 14. Now the minimum of these two is 29. And finally for V5, we have to find the minimum of the previous level, that is infinitive, comma the permanent level of the previous step, which is 15, plus the distance between V5 and V6. Now from the graph we find that the distance between V5 and V6 is 7. So it is 7. Now minimum of these two is 22. So these are the temporal levels of step 3, out of which we have to find the minimum, and we can easily find that the minimum is 18. So V2 is the latest vertex which is labeled permanently. So we put a tick here. So this is step 3. The next one is step 4. Since these 3 levels are permanent levels, so we have keep the levels unchanged. Now remember that in step 3, V2 is the vertex which was labeled permanently by 18. Now in this case we shall find the distance from V2. So we shall find the vertices which are not directly connected to V2. From the graph we find that the vertices V4 and V5 are not directly connected to V2. So we shall keep the levels of V4 and V5 unchanged. So we put infinitive here and 22 here because these two vertices are not directly connected to V2. Now for the vertex V3 we shall find the temporal level, and the rule is the previous level, that is 29, and we have to find the permanent level of the previous step. Now in the previous step we have labeled the vertex V2 permanently by 18. So the permanent level of the previous step, that is 18, plus the distance between V2 and V3. Now we find that the distance between V2 and V3 is 9. So it is 9. and we shall find the minimum of these two, 29 and 27. Obviously the minimum is 27. So now we have 3 temporal levels, out of which we have to find the minimum, and we find that the minimum is 22. So in step 4 we level the vertex V5 permanently by 22. So we put a tick here. So this is the latest vertex which has been leveled permanently. Now consider step number 5, and since these 4 levels are permanent levels, so we put these levels. So only 2 temporal levels are available there, and in this case we have to find the distances from V5, because this is the latest vertex which was leveled permanently. So let us find the vertices between V3 and V4 which are not directly connected to V5. Now from the graph we find that both the vertices V3 and V4 are directly connected to V5. So we shall find the temporal levels of V3 and V4. The rule is that the previous level, that is 27, comma, the permanent level of the previous step, which is 22, plus the distance between V3 and V5. From the graph we find that distance between V3 and V5 is 10. So here we write 10 here. Now the minimum of 27 and 32, it is obviously 27. And next for V4, the previous level, that is infinity, comma, the permanent level of the previous step, which is 22, plus the distance between V4 and V5. Now we find that the distance between V4 and V5 is 36. So we put 36 here. Now the minimum of these two, which is obviously 58. Now in step 5 we have to find the minimum of these 2 temporal levels, and we find that the minimum level is 27. So V3 is the latest vertex which is leveled permanently by 27. So we put a tick here. Now the final step. Now only one temporal level is available here, that is of V4. Now in this case, since V3 and V4 are connected and the distance is 28, so we shall find the previous level 58, comma, the permanent level of the previous step, which is 27, plus the distance between V3 and V4. We have already obtained from the graph that this distance is 28. So we have to find the minimum of 58 and 55. So obviously the minimum is 55. So this is the latest permanent level, because this is the only temporal level available. So this must be the permanent level of the final step. So thus we have leveled all the vertices permanently. Now from the graph we shall easily find the shortest distance from V1 to any other vertices. Since it was asked to find the shortest distance between V1 and V5, that means we have to find the permanent level of V4, and we find that the permanent level of V4 is 55. So this 55 is the shortest distance between V1 and V4. If we want to find the shortest distance between V1 and V3, then we have to find the permanent level of V3, and from this column we find that the permanent level of V3 is 27. So this 27 is the shortest distance between V1 and V3. So from this table we can find the shortest distance between V1 and any other vertices. So we have already obtained the shortest distance. Now we shall find the shortest path, and this can be found by backtracking. And the rule is that we have to start with the destination vertex, and V4 is our destination vertex, and from here we have to move upward until there is any change in level. So if we move upward there, we find that there is one change from 55 to 58. So we stop here, Next we shall find the latest permanent level of this step, and we find that in this step this is the latest permanent level, so we move from this level to this level. Again we stop here. Next we have to move vertically upward until there is any change. So we move vertically upward, so it is 27, 27. Now there is change, 29. So we stop here. Next we have to find the latest permanent level of this step. Here we find that this 18 is the latest permanent level of this step. So we move from this 29 to 18. Again we stop here. Next we have to move vertically upward until there is any change. So we move vertically upward. We find that 18, 18, infinitive. So there is change. We stop here. Again we have to find that the permanent level of this step, and we find that this is the permanent level of this step. So we move from infinitive to 0. So this is our initial vertex, and from the destination vertex we have traveled to our initial vertex. So this is the required shortest path. Now the path is like that, from V1 to V2, and then from V2 to V3, and then from V2 to V4. So the shortest path is from V1 to V2, from V2 to V3, and from V3 to V4. So we find that this is the shortest path from V1 to V2 to V3 to V4. So V1 to V2 to V3 to V4. This is the shortest path between V1 and V4, and the corresponding shortest distance is 55. So if we add these three weights, we shall find this is 55. So this is Dijkstra's algorithm, and using Dijkstra's algorithm we can find the shortest path and shortest distance between any two vertices of a simple connected graph. So with this we complete this part. So see you in the next part. Until then, thanks for watching.